Okay, so today Google have made a bit of a issue. What do you reckon of Google Soundsy?
It's an online browser.
Okay, so Google, oops, we may have sent your private Google photos and videos to strangers.
What?
So in Google you have like a Google Drive. You
Yes.
can put photos and videos and then share it with people.
Mm.
We normally use it for bigger size videos. So Google has recently notified Google photo users that due to a technical issue, the photos of some users' private videos were incorrectly exported to unrelated users' archives.
What?
So if you have loads of photos in your drive, family or friends or whatever, and they were shared, that's the thing though, we've got too much reliance on Google now, haven't we?
Well, even me, I keep all my pictures is keep in gallery,
Gallery on your phones or something.
phone gallery, and if I was to I don't know what the word is. If I was to put it on a folder, I just connect to the PC and just have my folder and just put all the pictures in there.
Yes, but if your phone was to be, if you dropped it in a bucket of water and it went, where would your phone photos be?
I'd put well even that the pictures that I were private, I'd put them all on file, and then if it
Photos,
comes
videos, music, anything
everything,
really.
yeah,
But if you've got them in Google, you can basically get another phone and you get all those photos back again because they're technically in the cloud or whatever they want to
oh
call it. So that's one good side of it. But what ends up happening is if you've got too much information reliance on another service, it's not yours anymore, is it? Because they
yeah,
own it. They
mm,
could turn around one day and say, they did that before. So Flickr used to
yeah.
be a photo sharing site. So they offered it for a certain amount of time free, and then they ended up saying, "Oh, we can only give you so many photos now, and you have to pay for it." So all the people that have loads of photos on there were like, "Oh, actually, wait a minute now. I have to go and get all those photos off." But because people tend to be lazy, they just ended up paying whatever it was, and they're now paying for that service. So anyway, with this article, what basically happened was photos was, well, here's the email. Let's have a look at the email. So they're making it a bit of a what Google Photos. So they basically wrote a letter saying, "Hello, we are writing to inform you of a technical issue with the affected with what technical issue that affected the Google Download Your Data service for Google Photos between November 21st, 2019 and November 25th, 2019 when it was fixed."
So it was a day then. They fixed it in a day probably.
4 days, 21st to the 25th.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yes.
Between November, yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, during this time, some videos in Google Photos were incorrectly exported to unrelated users' archives. One or more videos in your Google Photos account was affected by this issue. If you downloaded your data, it may be incomplete and it may contain videos that are not yours. The underlying issue was being identified and resolved. We recommend you perform another export of your content and delete your prior export at this time. We apologize for any inconvenience. So this is Google sending out a letter to all the people that were
Yeah.
affected. So what happens is you can go into your Google Photos and click a button to download everything.
Mhm.
It seems like during that period, what happened was they weren't able to download everything and they ended up getting, maybe I got your
Oh,
files and someone else
yeah.
got somebody else's
Yes.
files. That's a major issue.
Mm.
So to be clear, this is a big screw up, says John Oberheide, co-founder and CTO. Oh, security PhD at University of Michigan. So yeah, it's a big security issue. I hope the number of affected parties is small, but the impact to those parties could be high and very unsettling. But my real beef is with the non-chalient and non-specific notification email. Hopefully Google follows up with more comms. Oh, I hope this finds you well. We appreciate you reaching out to us regarding this and regarding your concern in cases where we know that another person has downloaded at least one of the user's videos. We have said
What?
so. Unfortunately, we are not able to provide a full list of impacted videos. We apologize. Yeah. So basically, there's not much they can do. But who can really hold them accountable? Because
Yeah.
if they go and do something like that, well, they send out an email. If they didn't send out that email, who would have known? So they must have had some regulations that meant they had to let people know. 183,000 followers for Google Photos is part of like a
Is that
Google
it?
service. That's just one element,
Oh,
isn't it?
right.
It's just the photo side of it, not the whole Google.
Yeah.
Google, probably the big Google ones, what, 21.7 million followers.
Yeah.
So if you have been affected, think about where you're keeping your data
Yes.
and what measures you can take, especially if there's some photos that you find you want to keep separate, like maybe family members or something. Keep them in a different
Yeah.
drive, or maybe a thumb drive, and have it backed up in multiple locations. But because we're getting more reliance on having data easily accessible, we're forgetting the old ways of actually having proper drive disks. I've got some. Who uses them anymore? Let me show you that. Oopsie daisy, and there you go. So come on, who uses these things anymore to back stuff up? Nobody. These used to be CDs. These used to store information on them.
They are CDs. They used to have information on them.
Yes, they used to have information on them. They still have information on them. And
Yeah.
before this, we had the floppy disks, which you probably won't remember, and memory cards and all sorts. So you know what? You need to be more careful with your photos, folks. Don't trust Google with them, is the moral of this story. And if I can end this somehow, I'll use my mouse if I can't find the end button.